Hello, everybody. I wasn't sure if I should do this now or save it for Sunday apologetics in 2 weeks, because I'm not going to bust off the flat Earth one again. Um, but I couldn't justify making Waldo wait 2 weeks when he's been waiting since Easter. His post was so big, I kind of had to break it down to two videos, because there is one part of it that went unanswered. And somebody else brought it up, as well as other atheists have been bringing this verse up. I'm going to do a video reply now. Usually the only one of my videos that are this long is a Sunday Apologetics. My Just an Interesting Thought videos usually aren't this long. But here we go. Slavery in the Bible is updated. Atheists who say good things about the Bible are a lot like evil unicorns. They are extremely hard to find and probably don't exist. The Bible shows teachings that make it clear that its laws had more sympathy toward women than it did for men. Female slaves didn't get beat while male slaves did. That's just one example, and with all the talk of the Bible mistreating women, supposedly, you would think that when we see an example of men being killed and women being allowed to live, you'd think people would consider that merciful. But no, according to one atheist, and heavily implied by two others, this goes from being merciful to being an example of how they could be raped. In the comment section of my video reply on slavery, a person by the username of Sewer Tapes, I don't even want to know what's on those tapes, had this to say. Quote, no forced slavery in the Bible. What about Numbers 31? And then he goes on to quote the verse. This chapter has God directly commanding his chosen people to make sex slaves of little girls. Okay, first off, who said there was no forced slavery in the Bible? Second off, where did you get children from? The verse doesn't specify children, and then we have no real reason to believe that all of the virgins were children. Third, I want to point out how usually when women were taken POWs, it didn't matter that they were virgins. But if you read the story of these people and why this is even happening to them, actually know what you're talking about before you criticize it, then you would know why in this specific event it is important that the women who weren't virgin were killed. Fourth, seriously, I'm supposed to believe that God let his people make sex slaves of girls that were possibly 1 year old? This is the Bible, not the Quran. No children are getting raped. And just like that, shots fired. Let's get it together, Sewer Tapes. But it does bring up a question that was brought up by Waldo in his post I feel I should respond to. Could female POWs be turned into sex slaves? No. Of course not. But of course you atheists probably want a long drawn out explanation as to why I think not, and that is biblically supported, so here we go. You ever hear about this thing called adultery? Yeah, I guess it's like a bad thing in the Bible or something. So that right there hurts the claim that POWs were raped because no married men could do it. But wait, I hear the atheist typing in the comment section. Exodus 22:16 makes it clear that premarital sex isn't the same as adultery and would lead to marriage. Therefore, it's possible that non-married men could rape a female POW and not commit adultery. And to that I say, highly unlikely that that's what POWs were used for. There are many times in the Bible where God makes it clear that relationships between a believer in God and an unbeliever were not to happen. And if the story of King Solomon is anything to go off of, not only is this a no-no, but God isn't going to let it go unpunished. And once again, if King Solomon is anything to go off of, it's probably going to be the guy's fault. So there you have it. Stretch it how you want, but no, female POWs were not turned into sex slaves, and of course this leads to the controversial morality debate of the treatment of POWs, and I'm just not going to go there. Even today, this is a topic that springs up whenever our military does something even seemingly out of the ordinary. And to that, I shall quote one of my favorite actors and my favorite Joker, Jack Nicholson. You can't handle the truth. In other words, yes, war is a barbaric and unpredictable, harsh thing. Even God brings this up when he tells his soldiers when they come back. Now, normally you'd expect a soldier to get a hero's welcome, especially if God's so happy they just killed a bunch of people. But God further demonstrates that he is against war and wishes it never had to happen, as he tells his soldiers to leave the camp and cleanse themselves because they killed blood. But just like when our military does something seemingly a bit harsh, I'd like to think our military, and in this case God, have their reasons. Like, subscribe, do all that good YouTube stuff. But as always, be back here next Sunday for Sunday Apologetics.